20 style tips, how to always look classy and polished this 2023. Hello everyone, I hope you've all had a great week and are ready for a whole lot of outfit inspiration. So in today's video, I'm going to share how to always look classy and polished this 2023 without blowing the budget. How to make even the most basic outfits look chic and put together with 20 easy style tips everyone can reach for. Tip number 1. Have your own formula with some go-to outfits for those days when you just don't like anything that you're putting on. Mine, for example, would be an outfit something like this, pairing straight leg jeans or tailored trousers with a classic crew neck jumper, and then simply finishing with a blazer over the top. I know that when I reach for this kind of outfit idea, I feel pulled together and polished, but in my comfortable, relaxed kind of fashion. It feels like me. Tip number 2, underwear is key. It may not be the sexiest of styles, but ensure you have some really good seam-free neutral underwear in your own collection, both knickers and bras. As a rule, you really want to ensure that you don't see the lines of your underwear, whether that be your VPL or an outline of the lace on your bra through a knit. There is always, of course, room to wear a nice lacy bra with certain tops, and I actually think seeing them intentionally through a semi-sheer shirt or perhaps with a slightly lower neckline can look really great, but only when it's a decision that you have made rather than it being unintentional. Tip number 3, if in doubt, add a great blazer. It really is unbelievable just how adding a well-cut blazer to the least polished of outfits suddenly makes it appear so much more chic. And I mean, even over loungewear it works. Take a simple pair of joggers and maybe a sweatshirt. Add that blazer over the top and suddenly the whole outfit is transformed. As a side note to this one, the blazer you choose really does matter. There really is no need to buy polyester blazers these days when there are so many gorgeous and super affordable alternatives across the high street and beyond. Spend your hard-earned pennies wisely and your outfit ideas will definitely thank you for it. As a bit of a blazer nerd, shall we say, I'll also add a few favorites that I've found recently with all of these style tips in the description box below. Tip number 4, learn what suits your body shape and stick with it. If you're pear-shaped, for example, highlight your shoulders with maybe an off-the-shoulder top, or by simply wearing a lighter color on your top half and darker on the bottom. And of course, if you're top heavy, you could reverse this. If you think you're more of an apple shape, focus on highlighting your waist, maybe with a belt or high-waisted trousers with a top tucked in as well. I don't believe in hard and fast rules or being confined by your body shape either, but I do believe that following some basics of highlighting the bits you're most wanting to show, you will overall feel and look a lot more confident. And confidence always lends itself to that polished and chic look. Actually, I was thinking of doing a whole episode looking at styling for your particular body shape and going through it all in a much finer detail. So do let me know in the comments below if that's something that you would like to see, and I shall get that one filmed. Tip number 5, a few simple pieces of jewelry will make a big difference to your overall look. By just adding a small pair of beautiful studs or a simple gold chain with a pendant and maybe a bracelet alongside your watch, you are showing the world that your outfit was considered and there is an underlying style to what you're wearing and how you wear it. It can really be surprisingly transformative. Tip number 6, how to always look classy and polished this 2023. I would always advise thinking about those small styling details that give a really big impact. You can add a little extra style to your look without adding more accessories or spending extra money. For example, do a little French tuck with the front of your top, or maybe push up the sleeves of your blazer and just use a hair bobble to keep them in place if they keep falling down. Alternatively, you could style a jumper over your shoulders for that preppy cool kind of look. They're all really simple styling tricks that I seem to reach for on probably a daily basis, mainly because they're free and they work, which sounds like the best reasoning of all. Tip number 7, the fit and the cut of your clothing really is important. Take those trousers that are too long or that jacket that is too big to the tailors, and you will be surprised how even a few centimeters of tweaks can make a huge difference to your overall look of your outfits. I don't know about where you live, but our local tailor costs £10 to have a pair of trousers hemmed. So it can be a really affordable way to make your outfit instantly look more polished and chic overall. Tip number 8, Do a little stock take of your capsule wardrobe, and if clothes are showing wear, it's time to either repair or replace them. Side note actually, if you're looking to build your own capsule closet, I did a full video on this recently, which you might also like. I've linked that below for you to watch after this one if you so wish. Another tip would be to give your knitwear a new lease of life by debobbling it with an electric debobbler. I'm sure there's a more technical name, but I don't know it. And also think about keeping a lint roller in your wardrobe to just run over anything that needs it as and when. For those items that have seen their day, make a list which you can check off as you go with replacements if they're pieces that you still require. Thinking about it, I don't think I ever shop without having a really edited shopping list in front of me. I tend to make one at the start of each season, really carefully sorting through what I actually need, and it really does help you swerve those magpie purchases that your wardrobe doesn't really need. Tip number 9 on my style tricks to always look classy and polished would be not to just save your sunglasses for the height of summer. Now, I'm not suggesting that you start wearing them on grey cloudy days either, but it's pretty hard to look put together if you're squinting in the sunshine. I often use this style tip when my eye bags just won't conceal no matter how hard I try. I look inadvertently classy and quite polished when actually I'm just trying to hide my very tired eyes. Tip number 10, layering is your friend. When done correctly, layering can be such a cost-effective way to look really polished. Stick to similar tones and ensure that your necklines aren't too fussy or overcomplicated. For example, take a white crew neck t-shirt, maybe add a neutral jumper, a camel coat, and then maybe a textured scarf or jumper around your shoulders. The mere detail of the t-shirt under the jumper gives that nod to that considered style. Tip number 11, get yourself a hand steamer. Nothing will make you appear less polished than creases in your clothes, and I appreciate we don't all have time in the morning to get the ironing board out. So a little hand steamer makes getting those little creases out of your clothes so very simple. Tip number 12, keep it simple. In short, the simpler your pieces, the more versatile they are, and the chicer they are, the more timeless they will be. Your wardrobe is much less likely to date if it's kept really, really simple, which allows you to invest a little more, knowing each piece will truly last more than just a season or two. The better investments are generally the better fabric and fit, and in turn, the more classy and polished you will appear. Tip number 13, use elevated basics. This tip is so very key. Imagine you're wearing jeans and a t-shirt, but the t-shirt is a little bit shapeless and the jeans are worn and baggy in all the wrong parts. Now imagine you're wearing jeans and a t-shirt again, but this time the t-shirt is in a heavyweight cotton, slightly tucked in and it hangs just right. And the jeans are a perfectly fitting pair. It's common to want to spend more on that party dress or maybe a pair of heels, but in reality, that money should really be spent on the core of your wardrobe instead. Doing it that way will allow those other items that you'll wear less frequently to be perhaps from the high street, and then they still blend in perfectly with your overall closet to give a really polished overall look. Tip number 14. Be organized. By this I mean keep your wardrobe in a tidy and pretty organized fashion. Pack down seasonal items in breathable storage bags so you have the most room for the items that you will actually be wearing this season in your wardrobe right in front of you. When our clothes are all squished together, it is so hard to see what we have, and also clothes become more easily creased like that too. You really only want to have access to what you'll actually be wearing. So swimwear and high summer pieces for now should be neatly packed away, and then they can be switched back in and your heavy coats and winter knits go away come summertime, or perhaps if you're going away. It can be a laborious task, I know, but it will save you time in the long run. And as I know from experience, a big spring clean of your wardrobe can work wonders on your soul, let alone for your outfit ideas. And as a side note, it will stop you buying things that you really don't need because you can see everything you actually have. Tip number 15, choose accessories wisely. Now you could be wearing the most perfect outfit and then you put on an old rucksack as you need to commute, and that contains your laptop, for example, and everything else you need. This will just shatter the illusion that you have created of that polished and put together woman. Tote bags are a great alternative to contain all those extra bits and bobs that you may need to carry, rather than stuffing too much in your handbag and either having to leave it open or it's just bulging at the seams. I would advise something bigger than A4 so you don't end up having a bag that's totally overflowing with all the stuff you need to take around with you. Side note to self actually, I do need to keep working on this one as I have a tendency to take everything bar the kitchen sink around me. I'm almost saying this to myself now, but once your bag starts to look like a bit of a history lesson of your last 10 years, then you know it's time for a bit of a declutter. Tip number 16, minimize print wearing. Now, I don't want to be a bit of a party pooper with this one, as I know some people love to wear a print. But all I mean by this is that for that really polished, clean looks, keeping prints to say one item, if at all, for example, can really help. Now that may be a blouse if you're a big print wearer, or perhaps a scarf, but then I would really try and stop there. Let that be the star of the show and keep everything else pretty simple. Tip number 17, invest in one or possibly two key pieces each season, such as a coat in winter or maybe a great pair of sandals in summer. It is so much better to have one or two great items that you wear on repeat rather than say 5 or 6 which aren't really that good. If you have one standout piece within your outfit which you absolutely love, not only will you carry yourself with a bit more confidence, but in turn your whole look will appear more perfectly styled as a result. Tip number 18, details are important. The right socks, for example, can make or break a look. You really have to try and think of an outfit from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet. Again, it goes back to basics and good underwear, but all these details do make the biggest difference overall. So really try and look at yourself in the mirror and double check that you've got everything right all the way down. And overall, it will help you look more chic and polished as a result. Tip number 19, take care of your skin and nails. Hydrated, fresh, dewy skin, I know, isn't always the easiest to achieve, but wherever possible, I would really up that skincare routine. And you can always add a bit of highlighter here and there to help you out a touch. Of course, your nails don't necessarily need to be painted all the time. Just take the time to shape and file them instead. When I do paint mine, I will often opt for a neutral color so that if and when it does chip, it's not quite so noticeable. Keep in mind that an overall look is far more than just your clothes. Your whole aesthetic is part of it too. Tip number 20, be realistic. Remember, not even the woman in the magazines looks like the woman in the magazine. There is always a team of people behind these shoots, not to mention lighting and good photography. Social media has created some very unrealistic standards, which we are all guilty of comparing ourselves to. But really what you want to aim for is to be the best polished version of yourself. I really hope that these style tips and tricks will be a useful source of information to help you feel more chic, classy and polished in 2023. Once you start implementing them into your daily routine, if you're not already, it will feel like no effort at all and you'll be amazed at the difference it can really make. My big takeaway from this would be to hone in on what your personal style actually is and make time to really take care of yourself. And in turn, that will present the best version of you to the world. I really look forward to reading what you've all thought in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. Big hugs everyone, and I shall see you on Sunday.